I thought I had everything figured out. 5 years with the woman I loved, a ring on her finger, wedding invitations already sent. Then one Friday night she sat me down and asked for a break. Not because we fought, not because something was wrong, but because she needed to think about herself. I agreed, thinking space was what she needed. I did not know that break meant another man. I did not know that choosing to trust her would become the biggest mistake and the greatest lesson of my life. Before I dive into how everything fell apart, let me ask you something. Where are you watching this from? Drop your city in the comments below. And if you have ever trusted someone who did not deserve it, hit that like button and subscribe, because this story is going to show you what happens when you finally choose yourself over someone who never valued you. Now let me take you back to the night my world started crumbling. I met Lynn 5 years ago at a small coffee shop in Seattle. It was one of those rainy afternoons where the city felt smaller, cozier. She was sitting by the window sketching something in her notebook. I ordered my usual black coffee, and when I turned around, our eyes met. She smiled. I smiled back. That was it. That was how it started. She worked as a graphic designer for a marketing firm downtown. I was a software engineer at a tech startup near Pike Place Market. We connected instantly. We both loved hiking the trails around Mount Rainier on weekends. We both had a thing for obscure indie films that nobody else seemed to care about. We both dreamed of buying a small house in the suburbs one day with a big backyard and maybe a dog. 3 years into dating, I proposed to her at that same coffee shop. I had the ring hidden in my jacket pocket for 2 weeks, waiting for the perfect moment. When it finally came, I got down on one knee right there by the window where we first saw each other. She cried. She said yes. The whole place clapped. It felt like a scene from a movie. We started planning our wedding immediately. October 10th was the date we chose. Just 6 months away from that proposal. Everything felt like it was falling into place. We picked a venue overlooking the water. We tasted cakes. We argued about flower arrangements in the way couples do when they are building something together. Life felt perfect. I felt like the luckiest man alive. But then about 2 months before the wedding, something shifted. Lynn started acting different. Small things at first. She would be on her phone more than usual, smiling at the screen, then quickly locking it when I walked into the room. When I asked what was so funny, she would shrug and say it was just a meme from a friend. Nothing serious. Then she started going out more. Girls' nights, she said. Dinners with coworkers. Late evenings at the office for some big project that suddenly demanded all her time. I trusted her. I had no reason not to. We were getting married. We were supposed to be a team. One night I was sitting on the couch when her phone buzzed on the coffee table. She was in the shower. I was not trying to snoop, but the notification lit up the screen. It was a text from someone named Brad. The preview said, "Cannot wait to see you tomorrow." My stomach dropped. I did not open the phone. I just stared at those words until the screen went dark again. When Lynn came out of the bathroom, I asked her who Brad was. She froze for a second, then recovered quickly. "Oh, Brad. He is just a new guy at work. We are on the same project, nothing to worry about." I wanted to believe her. I really did. But something in her tone felt off. So I pressed a little. "Why is he texting you this late? Why does he sound so excited to see you?" She got defensive fast. "Are you seriously accusing me of something right now? You do not trust me. After all these years, I felt like I was overreacting, like I was being paranoid." So I apologized. I told her I was just stressed about the wedding. She softened, kissed my forehead, and said everything was fine. But everything was not fine. A week later, she stopped responding to my texts during the day. When I called, she would let it go to voicemail, then text me hours later saying she was busy. Our conversations became shorter. She stopped talking about the wedding altogether. When I brought it up, she would change the subject or say she was too tired to think about it. Then came that Friday night. She walked into the apartment after work, and I could tell immediately something was wrong. Her face was serious. She did not kiss me hello. She just dropped her bag by the door and sat down on the couch. I sat next to her, my heart already racing. She turned to me and said, "I need a break, Ethan. I need time to think about myself, about us." I felt like someone punched me in the chest. A break. We are getting married in 2 months. What are you talking about? She would not look me in the eye. That is exactly why. I need to be sure this is what I want. I need space to figure things out. I asked her if this was about Brad. She denied it immediately. No, this has nothing to do with anyone else. You are being paranoid again. This is about me. I just need time. I wanted to argue. I wanted to demand answers. But I was so scared of losing her that I agreed. Okay, if you need space, take it. But this is just a break, right? Not a breakup. She nodded. Just a break. A few weeks. That is all. The next morning she packed a bag and went to stay with her parents across town. I stood in the doorway and watched her drive away, telling myself this was temporary, that she just needed time to clear her head, that we would get through this. I believed her. I actually believed her. The first week was torture. I texted her every day. Good morning messages, asking how she was doing, telling her I missed her. She would reply, but her responses were short, dry, like she was talking to a stranger. I am okay. Just need more time. Talk soon. I tried to give her space. I threw myself into work, stayed late at the office, avoided going home to the apartment that suddenly felt too big and too quiet without her. My best friend Marcus could tell something was wrong. He came over one night with beer and pizza trying to cheer me up. I told him about the break. He looked concerned, but did not push. By the second week, I could not take it anymore. I needed to see her. I needed to talk to her face to face. So I decided to go to her office. I would wait for her to finish work and we would have a real conversation. No texting, no distance, just us. I parked my car in the lot across from her building and waited. It was a Thursday evening just after 5. Employees started trickling out. I kept my eyes on the front entrance watching for her, and then I saw her. She walked out of the building laughing, and she was not alone. There was a man next to her. Tall, broad shoulders, hair slicked back with too much gel, wearing an expensive suit. He said something and Lynn threw her head back, laughing in that way she used to laugh with me. Then he did something that made my blood run cold. He put his hand on the small of her back. Casual, familiar, like he had done it 100 times before. Lynn looked up at him smiling and he leaned down and kissed her forehead. My hands gripped the steering wheel so tight my knuckles turned white. I could not breathe. I could not move. I just sat there watching the woman I was supposed to marry being touched by another man. Then she turned her head, and her eyes met mine. Her face went pale. She froze. Brad, oblivious, kept talking. But Lynn just stared at me, her mouth slightly open, like she had been caught doing something she knew was wrong. I did not wait. I started the car and pulled out of the lot. I heard her yell my name. I saw her in the rearview mirror running after the car. But I did not stop. I could not. I drove home in a haze. My phone started buzzing immediately. Call after call, text after text. Ethan, wait, please. It is not what you think. Let me explain. I turned my phone off. When I got back to the apartment, I walked straight to the bedroom and started taking down every picture of us, every frame, every memory. I threw them into a box and shoved it into the closet. Then I called the wedding venue. I told them we needed to cancel. They said I would lose the deposit. I did not care. I called my parents. My mom cried. My dad was furious. Marcus showed up an hour later without me even asking. He took one look at my face and did not say a word. He just grabbed a beer from the fridge, handed it to me, and sat down on the couch next to me. That night, I did not sleep. I just stared at the ceiling, replaying everything in my head. The lies, the excuses, the way she looked at him. My phone, which I had finally turned back on, was flooded with messages. Dozens from Lynn. Please let us talk. I made a mistake. Brad means nothing. I love you. Please. I blocked her number. Within an hour, she texted from a different number. Ethan, please, just give me 5 minutes. I blocked that one too. Then she showed up at my door. I heard the knocking. Soft at first, then louder. Then her voice muffled through the wood. Ethan, I know you are in there. Please. I am so sorry. I made a mistake. Brad was a mistake. Please just open the door. I sat on the couch staring at the door, saying nothing. She kept knocking, kept begging. Neighbors started peeking out of their doors, curious about the noise. Finally, I walked to the door and spoke through it, my voice calm and cold. If you do not leave right now, I am calling the police. The knocking stopped. I heard her sob, once loud and broken, then footsteps, then silence. The next 2 weeks were hell. Lynn did not give up. She found every possible way to reach me, emails. I would wait for her to finish work and we would have a real conversation. No texting, no distance, just us. I parked my car in the lot across from her building and waited. It was a Thursday evening just after 5. Employees started trickling out. I kept my eyes on the front entrance watching for her, and then I saw her. She walked out of the building laughing, and she was not alone. There was a man next to her. Tall, broad shoulders, hair slicked back with too much gel. I realized something during those 2 weeks. I could not heal in Seattle. Everywhere I went, I saw her. The coffee shop where we met, the hiking trails we loved. Even the grocery store had memories attached. I needed to leave. I needed to start over somewhere she could not find me. My company had been offering me a position in Austin, Texas for months. I had turned it down because Lynn and I were building a life in Seattle. But now there was no life to build. So I called my manager and told him I would take it. He was thrilled. I was devastated, but I knew it was the right choice. I told Marcus. He understood. You have to do what is best for you, man. But I am going to miss you, I told my parents. They were sad but supportive. I did not tell Lynn. 1 week later, I packed everything I owned into my car. I left the apartment keys on the counter. I did not leave a note. I did not say goodbye. I just drove. I left Seattle early on a Saturday morning. The city was still asleep. I looked at it one last time in my rearview mirror, the Space Needle disappearing into the clouds, and I felt something break loose inside me. It was not just sadness. It was freedom. Painful, messy, but real. Austin was different. Warmer, brighter, louder in a good way. I rented a small apartment downtown close to the office. The place was simple, clean, no memories. I started work the following Monday, and my new team welcomed me like I had always been there. I joined a hiking club to meet people. I went to local music shows. I tried barbecue for the first time and realized I had been missing out my entire life. Slowly, piece by piece, I started to feel like myself again. Not the man who had been with Lynn, just me, Ethan, on my own terms. 3 months passed. I made friends. I got promoted at work. I even started talking to a woman named Sarah, a UX designer on my project team. She was funny, independent, and refreshingly honest. We grabbed coffee a few times, nothing serious, but it felt good to connect with someone without the weight of the past hanging over me. I thought I was free. Then my phone buzzed one afternoon. Unknown number. I almost ignored it, but something made me open the message. Ethan, it is Lynn. Please, I know you are in Austin. We need to talk. My heart stopped. How did she know where I was? I did not respond. I blocked the number immediately, but the damage was done. She knew. The next day, my work receptionist called my desk. Ethan, there is someone here to see you. Her name is Lynn. I felt my stomach drop. I went downstairs, and there she was, standing in the lobby. She looked different. Thinner, dark circles under her eyes. Hair pulled back in a messy ponytail. She looked desperate. Ethan, please, just 5 minutes. That is all I am asking. I kept my distance, my voice steady. How did you find me? She looked down. Your mom. I begged her. I told her I needed closure. Anger flared in my chest. Not at my mom. At Lynn, at the audacity. We have nothing to talk about, Lynn. Tears spilled down her face. I was wrong. Brad was a mistake. He left me the second he realized I actually cared about you. I lost my job. I lost everything. I love you. Please. I took a deep breath. You loved the idea of me, but you did not respect me enough to be honest. You asked for a break so you could test drive someone else, and when it did not work out, you came running back. That is not love, Lynn. I will do anything. The best thing you can do is leave me alone. I turned and walked back to the elevator. I did not look back. I heard her crying behind me, but I did not stop. When the elevator doors closed, I leaned against the wall and exhaled. My hands were shaking, but I felt something else too. Strength. I had stood my ground. But Lynn was not done. Over the next 2 weeks, she kept showing up. At the coffee shop I went to every morning outside my building. She even sent flowers to my office with cards that said things like, "I am so sorry, and please give me another chance." My coworkers started asking questions. I had to explain. It was humiliating. But I stayed firm. I sent her one final email. "This is harassment. If you do not stop, I will file for a restraining order." She did not reply. But she did not stop either. Marcus called me from Seattle. Dude, Lynn contacted me. She is obsessed. My mom called too. Lynn's parents reached out to them. They want to talk to you. I do not have anything to say to anyone, Marcus. I know. Just thought you should know. The situation felt like it was spiraling. I started changing my routine. Different coffee shop, different gym. I hated that she was forcing me to live like I was hiding, but I refused to engage. Engaging would only make it worse. Then one evening my doorbell rang. I looked through the peephole and saw 2 people I had not expected. Mr. and Mrs. Thompson, Lynn's parents. I hesitated. Then I opened the door. They looked exhausted, older than I remembered. Mrs. Thompson's eyes were red like she had been crying for days. Ethan, Mr. Thompson said quietly, "Please, can we talk?" I did not want to, but something in their faces made me step aside and let them in. They sat on my couch, and for a long moment nobody spoke. Then Mrs. Thompson broke the silence. "We are so sorry for what Lynn did. We raised her better than this. We thought we did anyway." Mr. Thompson nodded. "We did not know about Brad until after you left. When we found out, we were furious, ashamed." Mrs. Thompson wiped her eyes. "Lynn had a complete breakdown after you moved. Brad left her when he realized she actually loved you. She lost her job because she could not focus. And now all she does is try to find ways to contact you. We have tried everything to get her to stop, but she would not listen." I sat across from them, my arms crossed. I did not know what to say. "Mr. Thompson leaned forward. "We know we cannot ask you to forgive her. We know you do not owe her anything. But as her parents, we are desperate. If you could just talk to her once. Give her some kind of closure so she can move on." I let the silence sit for a moment. Then I spoke, my voice calm but firm. "I appreciate you coming all this way. I really do. But no. Lynn made her choice. She hurt me deliberately. She lied to me, used me, and then expected me to wait around while she figured out if I was good enough. I have moved on, and I need her to do the same." Mrs. Thompson nodded, tears streaming down her face. "We understand." I looked at both of them. "Please, take her home. Tell her I wish her well. But I never want to see or hear from her again." "Mr. Thompson stood up slowly. "We will make sure she leaves you alone. You have our word." They walked to the door. Mrs. Thompson paused and turned back. "You deserve better, Ethan. I am sorry we could not give you the daughter-in-law you should have had." I nodded. "Thank you." They left. I closed the door, locked it, and stood there for a long time. I felt something lift off my shoulders. It was not relief exactly. It was finality. The door was closed. For good. And Lynn never contacted me again. 6 months passed. Then a year. Life in Austin became my normal. I got another promotion at work. I moved into a bigger apartment with a view of the river. Sarah and I started dating officially. She knew about Lynn. I told her everything. And instead of running, she stayed. She gave me space to heal at my own pace. No pressure, no games, just honesty. I started going to therapy to work through what had happened. My therapist helped me see that Lynn's betrayal was not a reflection of my worth. It was a reflection of her choices, her inability to communicate, her selfishness. It had nothing to do with whether I was good enough. I reconnected with old hobbies. I bought a camera and started doing landscape photography on the weekends. I wrote a blog about my experiences moving to a new city and starting over. People reached out sharing their own stories of heartbreak and recovery. It felt good to help others the way I wish someone had helped me. I even forgave my mom for telling Lynn where I was. She had not meant any harm. She thought she was helping, and in a strange way, maybe she was. Because seeing Lynn that one last time in Austin, standing my ground and walking away, gave me the closure I needed. Not from her, but from myself. I learned something important through all of this. When someone shows you who they really are, believe them. Lynn showed me she did not respect me. She showed me she was willing to lie, to manipulate, to keep me on the hook while she explored other options. Staying would have only prolonged the pain. Leaving was the most self-respecting thing I ever did. People ask me sometimes if I ever think about reaching out to her, if I wonder how she is doing. The truth is I do not. Not because I hate her. I do not. I just do not care anymore. She is a chapter of my life that is over, a lesson I learned, a version of myself I outgrew. I do not need closure from the person who hurt me. I gave myself closure by choosing to walk away, by choosing to rebuild, by choosing me. Forgiveness does not mean going back. Forgiveness means letting go so you can move forward. I forgave Lynn, not for her, for me. So I did not have to carry the weight of anger and resentment anymore. And you know what, I am happy now. Genuinely happy. Not the kind of happiness that depends on someone else. The kind that comes from knowing who you are and what you deserve. Sarah and I are taking things slow, but it feels right. She respects me. She communicates. She does not play games. And that makes all the difference. Looking back at Seattle from Austin, I do not see loss. I see growth. I see a man who chose himself when it would have been easier to stay. A man who learned that his worth is not determined by someone else's inability to see it. Sometimes the best thing you can do for yourself is walk away from someone who does not know your worth. And sometimes the greatest love story is the one you have with yourself. So if you are going through something similar right now, let me tell you this. It is going to hurt. It is going to feel impossible. But you are stronger than you think. And on the other side of that pain is a version of you that you have not met yet. A version that knows what they deserve. A version that would not settle for anything less. Choose that version. Choose yourself. Walk away. And do not look back. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever had to walk away from someone you loved because they did not respect you? How did you find the strength to do it? Drop your story in the comments below. And if this story resonated with you, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this with someone who needs to hear it. Your support means everything and helps this message reach people who need it most. Thank you for listening. I hope my story gave you something to think about. Remember, you are worth more than someone's indecision. You are worth honesty, respect, and real love. Do not ever settle for less. Take care of yourself, and I will see you in the next one.